everybody, Mike here, and today I'm going to go over on how to save yourself thousands of operations using Google Sheets API and like bulk uploading. Now, there's been a lot of cool videos out about this, but none of them have told you how to post to a specific sheet. They're just trying to say how to post to a spreadsheet. And if you're like me, your spreadsheets probably look like this, where you have all these tabs at the bottom, like sheet 1, sheet 2, subscribe, like this video, Mike is cool, etc., etc. But you have spreadsheets like this, and you need to add data to these spreadsheets. So what does that mean, though? So I already have an Appify data set where I pulled some Elgato products. So as you can see here, it posts, there should be 20 of them. And just to save myself some operations, I'm just going to do 5. And if we select our Google Sheet, you can see here that I'm going to post to the Elgato sheet. So if we go to Elgato, you see I have title, URL, AISN, brand. And so I map everything to those, which is pretty self-explanatory. And now if I run this, it's going to cost me 6 total operations. So I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. And then as you can see, we got 1 and 5, which gives me 6. And then as you can see, it updates the spreadsheet like that, which is cool. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. But now, the way we're going to do this, unlink you, put you up there. You're going to want to add a module, go to tools. You can just type in tools. And then you want the text aggregator. Just type in text and it'll be aggregator. Now, don't be afraid of this stuff. I mean, I am not a coding person in any way, but this is really simple. So your source module is the only module you have available. And then you're going to want to click on the show advanced settings. Then you're going to want to click on row separator and other. And for the separator, it just needs to be a comma, nothing else. Make sure there's no other space in there, no white space. You don't want it to be like have a space like that. You just want comma. And for our text, we're basically going to create file to send through the API. My keyboard's in the wrong place. Now, once again, I don't want you to get, too much into this. And I will leave this document down below to help out too. But all we're going to do is start with an open brace, quotation marks. And then once again, I want the title, the URL, ASIN, and brand. Oh my God. So we'll just go here and select title, and then we'll do quotations, comma, quotations, no spaces. And then we want the URL. So we'll pick the URL, and then it's quotations, comma, whoops, quotations, and then AISN. And then brand. And after you type it all, you're just going to close it with a closed bracket. So just like that. Make sure there's quotations in between each one. There is a comma in between each one of these. So as you can see, just very simple, just like that. So now if I hit OK, and we run this, always make sure you're saving. And it always gives you an error when this is the last thing. Whenever you have an aggregator, a tool, anything like that, it'll always give you an error, but always save after you do anything. Then we'll just go ahead and run it. Not complain, no problem. And so as you can see here, it took my 5 bundles and turned it into one giant string of text. And this is the acceptable format for the Google API. It's perfectly formatted for Google API. So now, what do we do if we want to add that data to this sheet that says Elgato? Well, in case you didn't notice, I've already cheated here. So we're going to add data to a new sheet. Now, I've already been playing with this, so But basically all I did here is I added a new module, go to Google Sheets, and then scroll all the way to the bottom to the API call. Okay, that's all I did. So you can see it says make an API call. And now this here is your URL. So they've already put this in there for you. So if you're looking at Google Sheets, you don't have to put the beginning of this. And once again, I'll give you this sheet here, but this is the code you want to use to add to the sheet. So what I did was spreadsheets and then spreadsheet ID, which your spreadsheet ID is right here. So in your URL, so after that D right there and the slash, all of this to the edit, that is the spreadsheet ID. You just copy that and you put it in here, and then you're going to do values. And then to post to the sheet name. Now, if you remember, my sheet name is just El Gato. So let me just delete that. And then we're going to do El Gato. And then make sure you're using the single quotes here in between the name. That's very important. If you're using basic sheet names like sheet 1, sheet 2, I don't think you have to use it. But I've just been using it just to be safe because it's kind of like a wild card thing. So, and then you want to make sure you do post and then content application JSON. And then you want to enter these parameters in the query string, value input option, user entered. And then the body of my text is just basically going to be the text from the aggregator. So you're just going to do a curly brace, values. Once again, I'll give you this right here. So this is all you need to do. You know, a closed, open brace, your text, closed brace, curly brace, closes it all off. You hit OK. And so now, because I know this is going to work, I'm just going to make this 100. I only think I have 20 things in this database. But we're going to save it. We're going to run it. And now if we go to our spreadsheet, you can see we're in the Elgato spreadsheet, and it added all of this really cool stuff. How awesome is that? But now I hear what you're saying. Well, what if I wanted to add it to a new spreadsheet? Got you covered. So I have this module here, which is basically add a sheet. So once again, if you add a module, go to Google Sheets, and you want to do add, start typing in add, and you want to add a sheet. Now make sure you're not adding or creating a spreadsheet. Don't create a spreadsheet. You just want to add a sheet. Now here's the only issue with doing this is you're gonna have to run this once to get it to work right. Oh my God, save. So you're basically gonna pick your path, your tutorials, my tutorials, your spreadsheet ID basically. Hold on, I need a drink. And then you're gonna give the sheet a name. So as you can see, I'm giving it the name Amazon Elgato products. And so if I go to my spreadsheet here, you'll see that I do not have a spreadsheet named Amazon Elgato products. I have all these spreadsheets on here. None of them are named that. So this is going to add a new sheet. But the problem is to add the new sheet, I need the sheet name. Now, if I knew I was going to use the sheet name, you know, I could just hard write it again. But what's really cool though, is if we just select this, make sure that's all set up. If I just run it once, just so I can get the data that I need. See, now we can go back to the spreadsheet. And if I go all the way to the end here, you can see it added the new spreadsheet. So I'm just going to delete it. All I wanted was that information. And so now what we can do is go to add a new spreadsheet. And this is what makes it cool too, is now I don't have to worry about copying the big ID because now I have it from the add a sheet. See, it's spreadsheet ID. So we can actually delete this, the spreadsheet ID. And then in between the two single quotes. We're going to go to replies, sheet, properties, title. So now it's going to do spreadsheet ID, the title, append. But now we only have one issue. If I send it just like this, it's only gonna it's not gonna add the headers. So see on my original one here, I have these headers. If I just run this now, it's not gonna post the headers. So we actually need to add the headers into this operation. So down here at the bottom, and once again, I will have this. So it says right here, like add headers to a new sheet. So I'll just go ahead and copy this. And I'm used to using my Mac. Copy. And then we'll just dump this down here. But as you can see, it's obviously, I copied that from another thing that I was using. So once again, we just want title, URL, AISN, and brand. So basically, you're just going to do an open brace, curly brace, values. I mean, if you want it to look pretty, you can, do this. We're going to add 2 open braces, and then this is going to be your first header. So we want this to be title. Our second header, we want to be URL. This SIN. And then this is going to be BRAND. And then all this other stuff I don't need. So I'm just going to delete all that. And so basically what you want is 2 curly braces, then the headers that you want to put, and then you're going to close it with one, I don't know why I keep saying curly, that one, and then a comma, and then you're going to add your text, which is this text here, and then we're going to close it with that bracket, and then close everything with curly brackets. So now it's going to add a spreadsheet where it's going to add the title URL, but it's going to be under, which I don't have on here, my new spreadsheet ID, which is going to be Amazon. That's my new sheet name. So it's going to create a new sheet and it's going to do all that. Make sure you hit OK. Make sure you save. So now, if we save again, just to be safe, go ahead and run this. Boom, boom, boom. And I screwed up. Hold that thought. Oh, I added spaces. So that was a good thing I checked it. So you can't have any spaces. Problem is it added the sheet though, so we need to go back, delete the sheet. It's a good thing to show messing up stuff. Okay, save it again. I wonder if there's any more spaces. Oh, there is. Okay, so I just had to update it. I don't know what I was doing wrong. But once again, just make sure everything has little curly braces. Hit OK. Let's save it again. Let's run it again. And there we go. So now if we go to my spreadsheet and we go here, you can see now that I have the title, the URL, and all that good stuff in a brand new spreadsheet. So how cool is that? Now, if I wanted to add more products to this spreadsheet, so actually we don't need to add another sheet. So if we just unlink these, but now because I did that, these are obviously broken. So once again, we're going to need our spreadsheet ID, which is this long string of text. And then we'll just delete that, paste that. And then we need our sheet name, which is Amazon Elgato Products. So we'll move in right there, delete all that. Amazon L Products. We're going to append it. But now, when we're adding to it, we don't need these values anymore. If we were to run it again, it would actually copy all of this again and add it to here. Because now all we want is the text that we're getting. So if I go in here, you can just delete all this. And then I just like to clean it up. So now we're just going to add text to that spreadsheet. And for fun and giggles, let's add a filter. Elgato. So if I go to brand, and it has to equal Elgato. Because if you notice on my spreadsheet here, there's obviously other things that are not Elgato, and you can see how Elgato is written the same way every time. There's no variance. I don't know why it keeps trying to make me sign into my Google account. So this way I'm going to filter out everything that's not Elgato. And then if we save and then we run, then we go back to our spreadsheet, you can see now it added it. I mean, I'm repeating the same things over and over again. I'm just trying to give you the point here. But now I want you guys to think about if you wanted to add, I know it's on here somewhere. So like when I'm doing stuff like this, I like to know my post ID. I usually have a status, and then I usually have the title ASN, as you can see on this spreadsheet here for this stuff. So how do you add a new sheet? By adding these to add blank spots, because this can really throw you off if you don't do it right. So once again, we're going to do the same thing. So actually I need to go in and delete that spreadsheet again. So we're going to create a new spreadsheet. Then we have to run it again. And guess what I'm going to do? Delete a spreadsheet. Because now I want to set this up to be spreadsheet ID. And this is going to be replies, sheet, properties, title. And I'm going to hit OK. But like I said, now I want to add a couple of, I want to add post ID and status, because I like to have that when I'm doing my blogs. So what we do here is we just go to the aggregator. And now, unfortunately, I can't just do like this, and like this, and then like this. So make.com does not recognize the double quotation marks as an empty string. So what you have to do is go in between those two quotation marks, go up here to the A, and see where it says empty string. You just click that. And then go between these two, go empty string, click that. So now those two are going to be empty strings. And also what I need to do, so I'm just going to copy this again from my other one. So we're going to paste in the body. Then once again, we want, so this, here, I'll just delete all these just so you guys can see how I do it. So we need another open bracket, patient. Then I want post ID. And then it's quotes, comma, quote. And then status. Quotes, comma, quote. Then what were they again? Title and title URL. title, quotes, URL, quotes, ASIN, quotes, brand. I don't know why I'm putting brand in there. And then once again, we just need to add our text. So just delete that, click on text. Now, before I just go ahead and do this, I already know what it's going to do, and you probably are following along here. So it's just going to give me 2 blank beginnings, but I actually want status though to say pending. So the way we do that is go back to the aggregator. So instead of an empty string in the second run, because we know that's going to be status, I want it to be pending. And that's what I want. So then we hit OK and make sure the spreadsheet has been deleted. So there is no spreadsheet. Yep. So let's save this and run it again. And so now if we go to our new spreadsheet, so now we have El Gato products again. And as you can see, now I have a post ID that's blank. I have pending that's filled out. And there's our title, there's my URLs, there's my ASN, there's my brand. So that's how you post to a specific spreadsheet. And I hope that made sense. Hope everything works for you. Once again, I will leave this in the description. So have a good one.